Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pedro and Hannibal YouTube channel. My name is Hannibal. I am gravely ill with a cold, and
Yeah.
I just realized who gave it to me because we
Yep.
hung out together in LA. Pedro, Mr. Bet
Mhm.
on You, Mr. Carrier, patient zero of
Yep.
whatever illness he has.
Patience.
Patient zero. I'm
I'm
sitting here.
Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow's character from the movie Contagion, I think. Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here sucking on some halls. Can that ever? Okay. Can you please? There you go. Some
There it
halls
is.
right
There.
there. This works. This is one of. I
Fun.
mean, it works as long as the candies that you have it. Then once you finish, you gotta take another one. But this works for me when I have like a sore throat or just it just makes it a little better to deal with. Not paid.
You know
I'm
what?
not a paid.
You
I'm not a paid
referenced
man for that one.
you referenced halls to me probably a half dozen times. You got to get some halls, man. Get some
It's
halls. You,
effective.
you must have some kind of deal with them, like under the table. You're not
I
calling.
wish.
I mean, they must be paying you a nice amount, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. So,
My dad
what up,
used to.
Bobby? What's up, Lee? See you
What's
guys.
going
What's
on?
up?
Yeah, I used to anytime I was sick, my father was like, get some halls, get the medication, and he was always into making sure that I was all right. So just carrying on the tradition of
The
yelling about
tradition.
halls. Yeah,
My
because
grandmother, when we were growing up, my grandma and then went to my mom a little. Anytime we had a stomach ache or we didn't feel good, Sprite. You gotta have some Sprite. You gotta have some Sprite,
oh,
some
that's a
clear soda.
thing.
Clear soda.
Okay, because I thought that was a stereotype, but I wasn't gonna bring it up. But yeah, Sprite. I've heard that from you guys. Sprite.
Yeah, I think it's mostly with the Hispanic people. I think we just like to drink soda. So any excuse to drink soda, it's like, oh, it's not Coca-Cola. It's clear, so it's got to be better for you. And you just give us a Sprite or some kind of off-brand or whatever. It's a thing.
Listen, I may have some Hispanic background. I love soda. I had to stop though. Like I used to drink it all the time. Probably not the healthiest thing, but Sprite used to be like my A1. Like I would drink anything as Sprite. 7 Up. 7 Up didn't taste the same. I think Sprite's a little better tasting. It's kind of like the whole Coke Pepsi thing. I think my opinion Coke tastes better. But I would
Yeah,
always drink Sprite and still be sick, but at least I'm enjoying all that sugar in my system. So as
I think
Pedro
yeah,
coughing his lung out.
it's fine. I think Coke is definitely the preferred worldwide. I guess I don't know, but I thought Hannibal smoked a bad man.
Okay,
Listen,
so I listen.
tell him.
Now, there's a few things. We'll talk about Caitlyn. I was gonna say Caitlyn Jenner. That's not her name. That for some reason that was in my head. Caitlyn Clark,
Yeah,
the savior of women's basketball, and also
bad.
talking about Angel Reese crying and junk. Um, yeah. So we were in LA a little bit. I guess the one thing that I could talk about is the marijuana there. So
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. The first thing I did when I got off the plane, the first with my bags, I went to a weed shop
Yeah.
and I walked. It was close to my place, um, and I walked in. I think it was called Sweet Flower. Walked in, and it's very different than my areas here in Brooklyn. They just it's very like a fast food restaurant here. You give them ID before they went on. You just walked in,
Yeah.
so any high schooler could have went in and bought weed. But I guess some of these places they ask for your ID now, and they just you ask for your thing that you can't talk. There isn't a conversation, so get your stuff and get out. Very New
Mm.
York, right? That's the style, and I'm sure there's other places, but they're too expensive, so I don't go to those places. But I went to this place. They were very nice. It was great customer service. They're asking me what kind of high I wanted. So I was talking to this young lady, and she's like, "Oh, this right here." Because I forgot what's called Lovely Woman. They have these names for these things.
Yeah.
This is good if you want to be mellow. Well, mellow, like a mellow feeling. I want to be mellow. Cool. I'll
Yeah.
grab that. Pedro, I was done, baked out of my mind.
This was Wednesday
It,
though, right? Or Thursday.
yeah, the day before everything started.
Wednesday. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, baked. I'm thinking, how is this mellow? There's no mellow feeling at all. I am done. Done.
Yeah.
Blitz not here. I'm interested in that young lady in her descriptions on mellow. I guess she was a pro. Maybe her tolerance is
Well, I
higher.
mean, it's definitely could be that because I've gone to dispensaries and asked about certain gummies and like, oh, this will be fine. I take it and I'm like, I feel like I'm on another planet. Like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't, everybody has their ranges, I guess. So,
Yeah, because you hear a lot of rap songs about Cali weed, and you're like, I'm sure all of it is the same. I'm sure there's different levels of strains, blah blah blah. We mean Cali weed. No, it's legit. I mean, that knocked me on my ass, and it's been a while since I've had that kind of a reaction. But shout out to
really?
them.
Uh,
As soon as I had that, I walked to the nearest pizza spot. Pizza was very okay, And
oh,
I'm not a
California
slob.
pizza.
I'm not a pizza snob. It was not. It was just okay pizza. It
Yeah,
was okay
yeah,
pizza, but it wasn't the same as New York. But they tried.
yeah.
But yeah, Cali weed is legit. I don't guess this is not probably breaking news here, but it was pretty legit.
Interesting.
Well, did you try anything new since I don't know, we had we hung out a little bit, but did you try anything new? It was kind of the usual stuff.
No, I mean, I ate a couple. I tried new like places I hadn't eaten at before, but beyond that, no, I didn't have a fun time like you did, right? But I will say this. I will say this. I was walking on Friday night, and there's a place called Tokyo Fried Chicken. Literally, that's the name of the place. So,
Mm,
like, I think it's just in Cali apparently, or LA. I asked,
yeah,
and this shit was good. Yeah, I mean, I like me some fried chicken. I like crispy chicken.
fried
This
chicken is
was
the
on a
best.
this was on a whole nother level. They also had chicken skins. Okay, so I
That's
bought
yes,
some of those.
yes,
Oh,
that's
with
good.
this little, it had
Oh,
like this little sauce. I mean, I went back to the hotel room, watched some basketball. I'm sitting in the bed, just eating fried chicken with some what were the sides? Um, Beans and something. It just shit was amazing. Little pricey, but the Tokyo Fried Chicken downtown LA. If you're in downtown LA, highly recommend. It was crispy and juicy, and it had like this different kind of flavor. I don't know how to explain it, but it was Tokyo. Their take on fried chicken. It was
well,
absolutely fantastic.
listen. Let me tell you about the Asians. They know how to fry chicken.
They know how to cook.
Talking about these stereotypes that black people love fried chicken. First of all, everyone loves fried chicken. That's why we're
Yeah,
so fat. We
right.
love fried chicken. But the Asians, whether they're Chinese, I know Marty said Korean,
Korean,
Japanese,
yeah.
like they know what to do with the bird. They just know. So I
They
would
do.
definitely recommend if you know a spot that there's an Asian spot doing fried chicken, they do it well. Um, but we checked out I was gonna say Staples Center. It's not Staples Center anymore. It's crypto.com. I'm sorry,
Crypto.
guys. This terrible name for arena, but whoever
Yeah.
pays the most, that's what they're gonna do. And so the Kobe statue, it was kind of epic. It was, I would say, at least there was some misspellings. Was it Carter? Was it Jose Carterson?
They put Calderson. It's Calderon, right? And Epic's a
That's
good
kind
word.
of
I mean,
embarrassing. That's one embarrassment part. Like this is $1 billion business, $1 billion building,
very.
fantastic area. LA, downtown LA dwarfs downtown Brooklyn. It's not even. It's not even. Can't be compared it to.
Yeah.
The feel, the atmosphere, the restaurants, the diversity of restaurants, just a beautiful place. But I mean, apart from all the the bums and stuff. But
The bumps. It's weird. Yeah. I mean,
I mean, it's a homeless. It's a homeless situation. I mean,
lot of
it's everywhere.
homeless
Right.
everywhere. But that area we were in, where the crypto's at and things around it, yeah, real nice. I mean, glitzy, new, right?
Yeah.
Very new. But then you also have all the street vendors, which kind of gives it a cool little vibe. It's not all just corporate.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
people out there just slinging hot dogs. We had some of those. Those were good.
Yeah. There's some
So yeah,
glizzies in there.
Glizzies were good, very good. Shout out to John, he took care of us well, so that
Oh
was
yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Shout out to happy birthday, man. He had a birthday recently.
Oh, did he? Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, birthday, John.
Um.
It was good.
Yeah.
That statue's cool. The other ones there, there's Shaq. I forgot about Shaq statue and Magic and I mean Kareem. It was nice to see that up front, like just to see it there. And the Kobe
Yeah.
one, obviously very prominent. They placed it in a very prominent kind of front and center. It's
Right in
big,
front. Yeah.
right in front. It was nice to see it. Glad I got some pictures and stuff like that. So it was a good experience.
Yeah. Definitely. I guess soon we are going to see a statue of Caitlin Clark someday. Like, I mean, okay, so I saw, obviously I saw a little bit of the game. I've been really just running around, running ragged. I'm moving soon as well, so I know Pedro's going to take the lead on this one. But I've seen the headlines. I remember all of the hype before the game,
Yeah.
And it was going back and forth, and I think what works about what this how this story is so interesting and brings the engagement is because there's many layers beyond basketball. It's race,
Yeah.
it's obviously social media, it's about women, men. Like
Yeah.
I think that's what makes this story interesting compared to the men's side, where there isn't that transcendent basketball player in a
Yeah.
story that we care about as much as Caitlin Clark throwing the basketball from 40 feet. It looked like she's not trying,
Yeah.
but it's very Curry, and I would say a little better because yes, Curry was doing that in Davidson, but Davidson, there was no chance of Davidson winning
Right.
the tournament. It
No.
was just this one guy doing some special stuff, and he was very
Yeah.
small and lanky, and we didn't think Curry was going to be what Curry is. But
No.
Caitlin Clark has another level. So explain everything. Like explain that game, explain
Yeah.
her appeal, and to a point why people think she could play in NBA, why Ice Cube invited her to the Big Three.
Yeah. Crazy. Right.
Explain all of this, and then we'll
Yeah.
kind of go with Angel Reese. But explain the Caitlin Clark effect here.
Listen, great setup. Great setup, by the way. I mean, everything you just said, spot on. There's a lot of tentacles with this women's basketball, the girls that are involved in it, the popularity and why, the controversy. I mean, you're
Right.
spot on. And anybody that's watching, if you haven't, vote on a poll in the chat. Could a female basketball player play in the NBA? Yes or no? Right now, 20% of you say yes, 80% say no. Now, listen, this Caitlin Clark thing is interesting. This goes back to last year, right? I mean, these two teams, LSU and Iowa, played a national championship. LSU won. They were the better team.
Yeah.
They were a better team. Angel Reese was still on that team. They lost a player that was on that team, a point guard, and they bring in Haley Van Lith. She's not as good, but was good. But that's a whole other topic, probably. It's interesting. I watched the entire game.
Mhm.
It was really good. Now, some people are saying the best game ever. I don't want to have a recency bias, but it lived up to the hype. Yeah, baby. Did you give her? Yes. Okay. Shout out to Madison. Everybody say hi to Madison. Okay. So,
hey Madison.
It's tied at halftime. I think it was 45-45. That's a pretty high scoring game. Especially for the women's side. I mean, that's a lot, but it's tied. Caitlin, Angel Reese are both playing really well the first half. Couldn't have gone any better as far as the script goes, right? I watched the entire game. Good game. Caitlin Clark. Okay, I'm going to get into the basketball stuff first, then we'll get into the stuff that is not basketball. But
The outside stuff, yeah.
Yeah. She dropped 41 points. She had 9 or 10 assists, 8 or 9. I mean, she had a phenomenal game. When you score 41 points in an NCAA game that could possibly get you to the Final Four, that does not happen often, men or women. Okay, so we're talking college basketball here, right? The scope of that and what that meant, it's a big deal. She didn't drop 20. She didn't drop 30, which is still very, very good. She dropped 41 points. She accounted for, I think, 60-something% of the team's offense. Something ridiculous. The girls around her, she makes them better. She's like LeBron in that way. Like Curry in that way. Those kind of players make the people around them better. Kobe makes your guys around you better, usually. So, it's interesting. They get revenge. LSU loses. There was no controversy. There's no smack talk like last year a little bit. Very respectful on both sides. From Angel's perspective, the coaches, Caitlin. So it was a good game. It's great for college basketball. It broke the record they set last year. Almost 13 million views. Okay? A couple of weeks ago, I think I said the men's is going to be boring, and it kind of has. Besides the guy from NC State. NC State's the 11th seed. They got a big dude, DJ something, I think. He's kind of the story on the men's side. Yeah, he's really good. He's big.
You think he could play in the NBA?
No.
He'll go. I'll say he'll get in there, but not.
Remember Zach Randolph?
Okay, but is he Zach Randolph?
No, he's not. But he's
okay.
That's just compare. But he's
similar style and
similar build.
He holds his weight and
yeah.
And I'm not being rude or being like, but I just feel like he's not as fast. Like the other guys gonna be too fast in terms of speed. Like, yeah, he could kind of hold his own, but I just feel like there's the athleticism is just on the next level. Like he goes next to Wemby. Yeah, he can push Wemby a little bit around, but Wemby's gonna block everything he does. I don't know, just the elevation don't seem to be the same. But
and this guy's been I think this is his at least third team he's been on. He's trained. He does transfer protocol a lot, so he's kind of bounced around, but he's having a great year. He's the only positive story on the men. The women have dominated. The viewership is up. It's more interesting. If we're talking just basketball, it's just been better, and I thought that would happen. The star power for the men is there. It's just not there.
Yeah.
The star power is in a good size. Anyways, I was going to play UConn, Paige Beckert, which I think is overall a better player than Caitlin, but Clayton is a little more. She's just more must watch because she can pull up from anywhere. As soon as she gets past half court, she's either going to pass it to somebody or she might shoot it. So, it's you don't have that on the women's side a lot. You just don't. So it was a good game, and then you've got South Carolina playing NC State as well. I'm excited for the women's game. I think the UConn Iowa one's going to be really interesting. But as far as basketball goes, I put the poll up. I've been seeing other people say, you reference Ice Cube wants to give her $5 million. I'll give you my opinion. I would love to hear yours on that. A lot of people are giving Caitlin Clark. I feel like she's getting a lot of positivity, but then sometimes what you hear is just the negative, right? People are saying she's overhyped and she's a little white girl, and if she was this, and we're only paying attention because she's this, and it's becoming racial. But I'm not sure why. The landscape of America is, can be very toxic at times when racial stuff is brought into it. I understand it, but I don't, from a basketball sports standpoint, I don't think it matters that she's white. But people want to they look at the LSU team, they look at Iowa, they look very different. When you see these teams, it's a predominantly black team versus a predominantly white team. So people are automatically going to go to that. But, I look at it from the basketball standpoint. And both these teams are really good. They got stars all over the place. They played well. The Caitlin Clark hate's just kind of weird to me. It's almost like it's just weird. I feel like if she, Angel Reese gets a lot of hate as well. She referenced that. She felt like it's her against the world. And, she talked about that at the press thing. Thought she handled it really well.
Really?
She fouled out of the game. Thought she handled it well. She didn't do anything crazy. Nobody did. Okay. So I was glad to see that, because I think if she would have showed any emotion, which it's okay to show emotion, I think people would have really been down on her, but I think she handled herself very well. But it's just weird. The whole black-white thing, Caitlin Clark's only getting attention because of this, and she's not going to be good in WNBA, and she's not the best. She is one of the best women college basketball players ever. She's got the most points, the most assists, all these records. If you're looking at numbers, what are we talking about here, right? So it's just kind of strange.
Is she the greatest women's college basketball player ever?
I'll say this: if she wins the national championship, it's not even close. Yes, I think in order to say that, you kind of have to have a ring, right? I think that's fair. That's a fair argument against that she is. But if you put up all the numbers, what she's done for the game, the popularity, the viewership, and if she wins, it's not even close. There isn't one person. There's people that have won more championships. Breanna Stewart won 4 with UConn. Maya Moore won 2. Cheryl Miller won 2 with USC back in the 80s. Diana Taurasi. There's a lot of names out there, right? Asia Wilson, most recently with South Carolina. But they don't have the numbers that Caitlin has, and they also don't have the transcendence, right? So for me, if she wins one, I don't think it's an argument. And she's doing it with a team where she's the only star player. I think we have to take that into consideration. So Steph Curry, you referenced him earlier, played at Davidson, not a big program. Iowa, not a big program when you look at the basketball landscape, right? But she made it that. Steph Curry kind of made Davidson big, put them on the map. He didn't take them to a championship game. He didn't take them to a Final Four even. I think he took them to the Elite Eight. That was the furthest he'd gotten them. So she's doing things that Curry didn't even do. So, I definitely think she'd be the best if she wins a ring. But she got to win a ring in my book. There's other ones that are a little more accomplished overall when you look at everything. But she's got Player of the Year this year. I think she got Player of the Year last year. So she has everything besides the championship. But the hate that she gets is just kind of odd to me. And the hate that Angel Reese gets is also a little bit weird. It's a little bit odd. It's a little bit I think they're both misplaced for different reasons by certain groups of people. And it's unfortunate because both of these women can play phenomenal basketball. They're rich. They're successful. They're influencers, and I think in mostly a positive way. So it's just the hate's kind of weird on both sides to me. But that's my long-winded kind of breakdown.
Yeah.
And I will say this, Caitlin Clark. I want to get your take. I'll give you mine. She's not going to go to the big three. Okay. If I was her, I wouldn't be negotiating with Ice Cube a little bit because she could probably, she would make significantly more money if she would want that. And then she can still play in the WNBA a couple of years from now. Ice Cube would benefit, Big Three would benefit, so would she. But there isn't one professional or collegiate woman player that could play with the professional men. There's not one person. If a woman would get on a team, she might score on a fast break or a three from the corner if she's not guarded. But Caitlin Clark would not be able to guard one guy in the NBA, not one. And she wouldn't be able to dribble around one
How about
guy.
college?
Could she play for
College,
some of the
a male's college.
None of the major, not Division I, absolutely
high
not.
school.
Yes, high school, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so we have a few comments in here. So Bobby's like, it's a defensive liability to say the least. He said even Pedro would take Clark to the hole all night.
No.
Not sure where. What? Oh, basketball. Okay, fair enough. Or either way, it doesn't matter. Pedro's a street ball legend. It doesn't matter. Whatever, right?
Caitlin Clark would beat me easily in a game of one-on-one. I would not be able to contain. She's no way.
He's being modest.
No,
it's
I'm not.
Fine, of course. Marty says, sorry, because there isn't much defense in the NBA anyway.
No, Marty, you're wrong, brother. I love you, but you're wrong. You're way off.
I think once whoever gets matched up with Clark will get like Kobe mode defense. You know, when Kobe actually wants to play like, down, slap the floor because no one wants that first highlight. Like it's I don't know if it's similar to Wemby when Wemby got in the league. Everybody wanted to dunk on him.
Yeah,
like everyone wants to be that guy. So no, physically she's 6 foot. She's 6 foot even. It's not changing.
She okay. Look, we talk about Jalen Brunson being small. I think Brunson's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
Okay. He would dominate Caitlin Clark. Dominate. We're talking if they matched up in a game. Brunson just dropped 61 this past week. Okay.
Yes.
Brunson could do anything he wanted to on offense and defense if he was going against Caitlin Clark in the NBA, guys. I don't think she might get a couple points because basketball can be very fast. She can shoot. She's not driving to the hole on these guys. Every shot.
Oh no, that would just be
every shot will be blocked. Yeah. So anybody that thinks that she could play in an NBA is absolutely delusional, and that's not any shade on her. She would beat 99% of the people in this world, but the 1% that are in the NBA, even the guy sitting on the end of the bench that doesn't get in the game, would absolutely demolish her. I don't.
Thing is, Giannis' brother can probably finally be the one. I'm just playing.
No way.
But yeah, I think she draws so much appeal. Ice Cube is a businessman, he's an entrepreneur, he's a smart guy. Yeah, of course, extending that, it helps his brand. Yeah. It seems like the NBA does not want to help the big three in any way, which I think is ridiculous.
I think it's weird.
It helps everybody. I want to see old NBA players play basketball. I want to see dudes with a little gray in their hair. Like when I saw Oakley play, he was coaching, but I want to see Rasheed Wallace play. I want to see Rondo just retired. I want to see old people play basketball. I don't know what it is.
Could she play in the big three? Could she play in the big three versus the older guys?
She probably do a little better because it's half court.
Yeah.
So it's, a little better in terms of, pickup game, even though it's a professional players and they're playing for money. She'll probably fare a little better. But still.
I think the half court would hurt her. I think that would actually hurt her. It's making the court smaller, and that makes her smaller. I think in the full court, she might be able to run around a little bit, get some layups maybe, or transition, or like a transition three. I think the half court, she'd struggle. I mean, these guys are 50, 60 pounds heavier.
Okay, so just the three will just cover.
Yeah,
basically had that half court. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think it's just a marketing tactic for the most part. But I still find her fascinating. That you said that word transcendent. So just talking about the WNBA for a second, she probably is going to go there, probably get enough endorsements. Well, she's getting paid well enough, but people still don't watch the WNBA as much. They don't. I mean, I can't tell you all the teams. I can't even tell you 5 teams. I can't even tell you 3 players on the New York Liberty team.
Yeah.
People are not watching. They're watching the NCAA women's tournament for the storylines that have been going for multiple years. Those storylines are going to go now. Caitlin Clark is going to go. Where's she going to go? Get drafted to the Phoenix Sun, or what's it called? Stars? I don't. Shit. Mercury. Then where that goes, right? Like, are they going to rig it Patrick Ewing style and make her play in New York or make her play in LA where it would make? I mean, that's what people say.
I think the team is Indiana Fever that has the first pick, I believe, and it's the player they have was the first pick last year that came from South Carolina. She's really good. Forget her name.
Yeah,
she's real good. So if they team up, it could be interesting. But I mean, yeah, the WNBA, I don't know. I think there's going to be an uptick in views. I'll say that right now because of her and the other players. There's several. I mean, Angel Reese will be in WNBA. Paige Beckers. There's a few others. Cameron Britt from Stanford. There's 4 or 5 really good players. But the WNBA has done it before and it hasn't helped. But Caitlin Clark is different. She is a Steph Curry-like. She's changing the game. Girls are going to start playing like her. They're going to start getting that long-range 3. They're going to start really playing like that. And Steph Curry did that, right? So a lot of the, I think we're going to see that. But the WNBA is still going to struggle. I mean, if I'm her, I don't know, man.
Overseas, they get paid more money to play overseas, but no one will watch it. But they do. And then also there's a weird stuff that happened before with Brittany Griner. As long as you don't violate the law or get yourself in trouble, but you go out there, you get paid more money. She obviously has the brand to extend. I'm thinking if she can do what she can do in college, I would watch. If she's launching 3-pointers like Curry, I would at least watch games if they were on. Because there's no NBA when they're playing, right? I think they start around like May or June or something like that.
Yeah, they start kind of when
right. So if she can do that, I'll watch. But the problem is she needs the another player to be at that transcendent level. Because when we think about it in terms of the NBA with Magic and Bird, right? You need another the same situation here in the tournament, right? Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. You need that in the next level.
No, you're right.
Storylines, the passion, there's a little bit of the rivalry. You need them not liking each other, or at least enough where they respect each other, but also they know they want to beat each other. You need that. If that goes there, I mean, many people watch that, right?
Angel Reese is going, so that could, and Magic and Larry Bird didn't always get along, but there was respect there. Eventually, they formed it. That could happen, and that could help the WNBA if it goes that route. But I don't know. I think what we have to remember is, okay, Iowa, she scored all these points. So I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate against Caitlin Clark, okay? So she went to Iowa. They don't have good players. Like, it's not like a UConn when you're going and there's a lot of 4 or 5-star people there. There's
beating people at 40 points and stuff every game. Yeah.
Everything was built for her. So she scored a lot of points because she's ball dominant. She's a point guard. She has free reign. She makes great decisions. She facilitates a lot of that offense, assisting wise, setting up things, pull up threes, screen plays for her coming off the pick and roll. Like, she's amazing. But in the WNBA, unless a team and a coach has players that can fit around that system, she's not going to be scoring at the pace that she does in college. I don't see that, because I don't think she's going to be able to, the offense, unless it's built around her, this Iowa offense is all predicated on her, like 100%. So I think for her to do this in the WNBA is going to be difficult. I think she's still going to come in and get some points, but I don't know if she's going to be throwing up them threes like that. It'll happen, but I mean, she shot 10 or 11 threes the other night. That's a lot.
It seems like she's efficient, though, right? How many she hit?
Oh yeah, she's efficient. 50% from three is pretty good. Yeah,
I think if usually you're getting drafted to a bad team, so maybe she'll be in a team where they will put her as the focal point, where she kind of do a little bit of, because usually you go into a team that's terrible, so there's a possibility that she could do it. I know I saw Nothing But Silicone was basically saying, other than the rookie season where it's fresh, she's just she don't think, or whatever. Believe that it won't be that much of a difference after the initial rookie season,
Yeah.
which could be a point if she comes in and isn't as dominant or special in college. But also, I would like to challenge you with: we didn't think Curry would do what Curry did when he came out, and he
Very
was
good.
kind of launching the threes, and it was like, yeah, that's cool. And then also, it took a while. It took a
It
while
took
for
him
him
a couple
actually to
years.
become who Curry is, right?
It took him a couple years. I think it was maybe year 3 or 4 when he really. Mark Jackson was the coach of the Warriors.
Right.
Steve Kerr, they had that good playoff run with Mark Jackson. They fire him. They bring in Steve Kerr, and then they just took off from that point.
Right. And he
I think
also had some injuries, right? I think the ankle issues were still
yeah.
like, I don't know. He seemed like he may not even last, but he's able to figure that out. So
Well, I
I
think what
think the comparison is there.
well, we got to remember. I think it's a great comparison and great analysis of like Curry didn't do it right away. I think, but it goes to my point saying there has to be a system and a coach in place to build something around you. Steve Kerr came in and changed that offense with Klay Thompson, Green, and Curry to facilitate it through Curry. Right? They weren't really doing that a lot. You had Monte Ellis, I believe, was on that team. He was the main guy when Curry got there. And Monte
Yes,
Ellis
he was the guy. Yeah.
he was the bucket,
Yeah.
right? So he had to leave. A new coach had to come in. Things have to happen for things to fall into place with basketball. It's a system game, similar to football in some way. The quarterback could go to this team, have great success. Patrick Mahomes, C.J. Stroud. That same guy can go to like the Bears or the Lions and not be as good because of the coaching, the organization, the systems. So I don't know. I mean, I like her. I think she's good. I'm rooting for her. I don't understand the hate. I would love Angel Reese today said she's going to the WNBA. I think she'd be better not doing that and going overseas or doing her own thing. I think her personality is so big and she has that I don't give a fuck attitude I think she could do better somewhere else. That's just me. I think the WNBA will actually hold back Angel Reese's social media, her money. I think she's got other things she could do with basketball. I think Caitlin Clark likes basketball a little bit more than Angel Reese, if I had to guess. I think Caitlin just wants to play. I think she's just a hooper in that regard. Whereas Angel's a little bit, I want to play, I'm a hooper, but like I like to do other shit, you know? Yeah. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Nothing but Silicone had a little more of a clarification. Not necessarily she'll be good, but talking about ratings, which that actually makes sense. I think none of us are saying that she'll be a bad WNBA player. No. I'm interested in the bigger picture of, will this finally make us care to watch these damn games? No. Will they be able to continue to just use this as a charity case, a tax write-off, or will they actually start making some money? And I guess, it's more likely that, after she, does her thing, and she'll probably still get awards and accolades and do pretty well, but will people care? Like there's some WNBA players that have been balling and dominating for a while.
Nobody cares.
No one cares. So I'm wondering, will that be the difference? And we will talk about Angel Reese as well in terms of, and it kind of comes together with her and Clayton Clark. Race is the problem. It's race. Race relations have taken a step back. Over the last 10 years. And I forgot. There's one author. He was actually on The View, and he destroyed these because The View, they're terrible. And he was explaining that race relations, we all thought basically until 2010, 11 or something like that, in that area, that race was not that bad. Like race relations were pretty decent. We're going in the right direction. We didn't have this, you're racist, this last canceled. And the problem is with the thing we're using right now, social media. Yeah. That's been accelerating. We're all mad with each other. We're all arguing with each other. We have our groups. Even though when we go to goddamn Walmart or we go to Target or Aldi, it seems like we're all getting along. We're all shopping together. We all going to the beach. We all go out, going to conferences. All races around. No one is losing their minds. But the one instance somewhere in a place that's thousands of miles away, at the Alabama water thing, and they're beating each other up, like, well, that means everywhere there's a problem. And I think that's the issue. And so people say, well, people complain about Angel Reese talking, trash talking, but Caitlin Clark trash talks. We got to accept both of them.
Yeah.
But they say, oh, Angel Reese is disrespectful. Well, Lillian Clark could be, I guess, considered disrespectful if she talks too much trash, so she's saying something.
Yeah.
Now the LSU, when they played the game against Iowa, the national anthem comes on, the team leaves. They don't stand for the national anthem.
I heard about that the next day. I didn't
know about
I didn't know about it until Tuesday.
So conservatives were just beating they were blowing their loads, especially after that Angel Clark stayed and dropped that much points. So they would, but let's look at it from another angle. Why that team decided not to stand? Like, what are we doing? I don't.
Did you hear? Did they give a reason? I didn't look into that. I heard about it, but
I don't know why that's a thing. Like, I mean, I understand. Like, okay, so what's the issue? Is there an issue? It's just you don't care. Like, it just sometimes the problem is with a lot of these basketball players. And I'm not saying shut up and dribble, but if you LeBron and you don't read past page 1, just stop pretending. Like, just talk about basketball. We talked about this last week. Him with JJ Redick. LeBron is a genius basketball mind. I can listen to him talk about basketball all day.
It's really good, isn't it, man?
He's able to break down the game. I don't know if Jordan can break down the game. I don't think Jordan needed to. He's just like, I'm betting on all you. But
yeah, his analysis would be different. But
right.
LeBron's is analytical and full of memory and like data and like specific instances, whereas Jordan would be like more like a Kobe.
I like listening to Jordan speak too. I mean, he has a lot of insight.
It's different.
Been more of a general competitiveness, just his life, what he finds. I mean, also he's an entrepreneur, he's a billionaire. So he's but when you talk about basketball, like that's next level. But I don't want to hear LeBron talking about social economics or social. You don't know it because you put all that time in basketball. I'm not saying you can't talk about it, but when you come across and you say certain things, you have no idea what you're talking about, and that's why people attack you.
Yeah,
not necessarily it's because you don't know what you're talking about. So,
you know what?
They decided
this is a good move on LeBron. This is a good move on LeBron's part because the things I've watched, some of the comments I've read, the reaction. LeBron gets a lot of hate because Silicone's but his politics are trash. And Hannibal's referenced that. I've referenced. People don't like LeBron sometimes for that reason. They feel like he talks when he doesn't understand what's going on. He's kind of like. Right. Maybe being not genuine about it, whatever. But I think this is a fantastic move on his part because he'll be able to do this after he's done playing. But he's going to get more people that maybe didn't like him. Like, you know what? LeBron's not that bad. He's easy to listen to. He's smart. He's charismatic.
You can tell he's a nice guy. I mean, I never said that. Never thought he was a bad guy. I just thought, like, man, if you really just do, it's okay to say you don't know. I'm not familiar. Like, you don't have to. And I know a lot of people pressure him to speak on these issues. I remember when someone stopped Kanye at the airport and asked him about Israel versus Palestine, what his thoughts are. He says, and he was honest. He's like, man, I'll tell you right now, I don't know. All I know is there's a lot of people, a certain amount of people died in Chicago last week. That's what I'm worried about. I love everybody. I hope everyone get along, but that's my concern. That's a good answer.
Good answer.
The man's not spending time thinking about that because he's worrying about in his hometown what's going on over there. He doesn't have a lot of us don't have the mental bandwidth to understand the entire world. So when I see the LSU stuff, it's like, okay, if you ask Angel Reese, okay, why did you guys decide not to stand for that? Like, why? I don't know if she'd be able to explain it in a way that would make sense. It was just, racism. Like, okay, what about it?
Yeah.
What's you have any solutions? Can you understand what's going on? Is it a race issue? Is it a class issue? These people, you know what I mean? Like it's important to know.
You just mentioned that, and there was that article written by I think the LA Times. I don't know if you heard about the LA Times called the LSU women's basketball team dirty debutantes. And there were some things that were even taken out that were leaked after that were even more maybe racially charged, some would say, or just kind of we want to say that disrespectful in some regards to the team, right? And so maybe they were protesting that, and they felt like, you know what, we're dirty debutantes. We're not going to be out here for the national anthem for whatever reason. I would imagine that might have something to do with it. I could be completely wrong, but I
mean, if that actually if that's kind of I mean, it'd be nice just to direct it towards the people who wrote that article because dirty. Why are they dirty? Like,
It was
You
weird. It
know,
was a bad article since they've apologized for it, right? But that to their, if that's the reason they decided not to do it, right?
yeah,
A lot of people have looked at the article and said like, this isn't okay. This is weird, right? It's
right.
weird, right? It was similar to when that really popular guy that had the show, Don Imus, what was his name?
Oh
Remember
yeah,
he
nappy headed hose.
nappy headed hose. It was, that was worse, but people had, backlash there, backlash here with the LSU. So maybe that's
Yeah,
what they're like, you know what? Now we're feeling
yeah,
some racial tension. We're feeling like that article wasn't okay. This wouldn't have been done if it was Iowa. They're not talking about Iowa like that, right? So why
right.
are they talking about us like that? So I would imagine if I was a betting man, they probably didn't for that reason.
And I understand that, but let's explain it in a way that it's you and we can tell that you understand what you're talking about, and not in just emotion, and not in a tweet. Like, things same similar to Kaepernick, and how I have no idea what he's really thinking about. The man don't talk. He doesn't talk. That's probably the reason why he never got back on the field. He never sat down and really expressed what everything that was going on. Is just, I want to play, I want to play. Like, yeah, but you were not really that great when you last time you played. We need to know what your mindset is. You really love football. Is it just about the social justice? Do he never explained it. That's why he never came back. And obviously he never played well before he left. So like, those things are important. If you want to jump into, it's either you want to make money or you want to be an activist.
Yeah.
And you made it to say that's a bad way of looking at it. But I believe that either you're going to go all in and be Jim Brown, or be the man escaping me, Bill Russell, where
Yeah.
they were able to dominate. But when if you ask them what they stood for, Hamali, you asked them what they stood for, they explained it. There wasn't a question. It wasn't. It was like, oh yeah, I get it.
No,
These
they
new athletes
kind of took a hard thing. This is why. The
Right.
police brutality, but I'm gonna give you this,
Right.
or Muhammad Ali's famous line, I ain't got nothing against the Viet Cong or whatever, right? Like
They didn't do nothing wrong with me.
or,
Why am I going over there and
yeah,
fighting them or fighting another? Yeah.
I got people right here that are against me. Why I got nothing against them, So and
Right.
that you can relate to as a person. It's like I got no problem with them. I don't know who they are. Why do you want me to go fight your war? And that's whether you agree or not, you can at least respect a man for taking that stance if that's what he believes in, right? And he lost
Yeah.
several years and millions of dollars and not being able to box because he did that.
Right. Yeah, Bobby. Obviously, the protest didn't relate to.
Yep.
And then the conservatives, and that's going back to social media and why I think things are set back, because social media, the ability to earn money making content, everyone knows the hits. I know the hits. Pedro know the hits. We know, well, at least the main channel, how to draw a lot of people in by doing saying certain things, or crafting narratives, and conservatives. You could do very well as a conservative on YouTube.
Well, they do the same. They do it. They do it.
Liberals too, but conservatives, in my opinion, I'm sorry, conservatives are better at it than liberals. I saw a lot of liberal. It's just conservatives is a little better. I think they're more open to, because I think the liberals a little bit are worried about offending, so they're kind of held back. Conservatives are just more open. They're more the free speech, and their content resonates with people more, and they know what the hits are. So when
in our climate, what's going on in this country,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
does.
So when LSU decided not to be there, it's like, okay, all right, and then lose. Oh, then it came down. So I want to if you want to watch that video of Angel Reese talking, and she's upset about her struggles.
I saw that.
I wanted to get your opinion. I know you said, let me see. It's a minute and a half. Let's just check it out, because I have some thoughts on it about how she felt about that situation there.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want to always just know like I'm still a human. Like all this has happened since I won the national championship. And I said the other day, I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks. But I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything. And I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are. Keep waking up every day. Keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
Okay. I'm gonna throw my thoughts real quick. She said I a lot. And me. She said I and me a lot. When you're talking as a team sport, there's a lot of I's, a lot of me's. She won the championship. She was okay to throw "You Can't See Me" in front of Caitlin Clark, trying to show that, like, kept trying to follow her around, pointed to her finger, has the crown.
Yeah.
Right. On social media, talking a lot of shit, hanging out with celebrities, dressing pretty provocatively sometimes.
Yeah. The sexual
like she had,
realize in that comment because you're putting yourself out there. Like,
right.
You dress a certain way, and that's okay.
And yeah, she's a Fashion Nova, endorsement. Yeah. She's getting paid, but she is wearing a lot of revealing stuff. And listen, I have no problem with that at all, clearly. But it seemed like a little bit of ego, like a lot of ego. And when you push that energy out there, you gotta take it.
Yeah.
No one forced you to bait and try to trash talk when you won that championship, when you guys were way ahead and you're about to win. Caitlin Clark, I didn't see her crying when she lost. And Caitlin Clark was getting little hits and people making fun of how she looks and all types of stuff. And Caitlin Clark, at this point, you don't see her acting that way.
Good point.
So I think she needs to be humbled, calm down. And if you're going to talk shit, take it when you lose. You just gotta take the L. Like this now, you lost, and it's I've been sexualized.
Yeah, playing the victim.
Come on, exactly. And then her saying I and me, and I hope girls look up to me. It wasn't a good look in my opinion. Now, she could be upset and sad and worried about all the stuff, but you're an influencer now, right? She's getting paid really well, so I thought that was kind of lame, to be honest. But what's your thoughts?
This is what I'll say. I'm going to reference one other person at a podium, Juju Watkins. So the second game on Monday was UConn USC. UConn won. Okay. USC was the #1 seed. They got a freshman, Juju Watkins, just broke the record most points scored in a year by a freshman. It's a big deal. She's phenomenal. She's Carmelo Anthony. I mean, she's phenomenal. Like her comp is Carmelo Anthony, what he was able to try to do in Syracuse, or what he did.
Nice.
So she's at the podium and she's crying. She's emotional. She's crying, right? The difference is Angel Reese is shedding tears. The difference is last year when Angel Reese won, she's the crown. She's this, very boisterous. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark loses last year. Pretty chill, handled it well. This year, Caitlin Clark wins. Excited, but pretty chill, handled it well. Caitlin Clark's reaction to her losing and winning is more similar than Angel Reese's reaction when she loses and wins. Yeah. Right? So Angel Reese got all that stuff to say, right? And would have had her reaction would have been way different if they would have won. She would have been like, the world's against us and I'm here and and you can't do it. It would have been more of that braggadocious kind of like ego, the I that you're referencing. But because they lose, she plays what looks to appear a little bit of the victim. Woe is me. It's us against.
I've never been happy since I won. I've never been happy, but then you say you want to take it back. Why would you not take it back if you haven't been happy?
Yeah, and that's part of the issue people have with her, I think. And And that's the issue the conservatives have. It's like, I think Angel puts herself out there, which can be a positive for a lot of people. But when you do that, you have to be ready to take the heat.
Just
right?
take the L. Like, you lost. I got my ass kicked. You know what? Shout out to the team.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't play as well as them. And that's it. And just bow out. Don't try.
Yeah.
And I know you said about handling wins and losses. Like, I forgot who said that. The guy who slapped Chris Rock. I think he said this in the song, or he's like, don't let the wins get to your head, but don't let the losses get to your heart. Like, at least have a balance of it, because if you're going up and down.
The guy that slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah.
His name is Will Smith.
Will Smith, y'all. I mean, don't worry. I'm gonna see Bad Boys 4. I'm gonna check it out. I saw a trailer. I mean, I don't know if you saw the trailer. The best Bad Boys is the first two. The best one's the first one. The second one's pretty. The third was, and then the fourth doesn't look all that great. But I'm gonna support Will Smith. Will Smith is the first movie I've seen since he Chris Rock. So hopefully that's good. But he did say something a long time ago that I thought that kind of makes sense. You don't want to go to extremes when winning and losing, because I think that's not necessarily a healthy thing. But I don't know. Listen. Oh, Bobby says, good point, Pedro. I'm drafting Caitlin Clark. I mean, you had to pick between you starting you have your WNBA team. Who you drafting? Clayton Clark or
is that that's a real question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Caitlin Clark, she's a way better basketball player than Angel Reese. We're not even close.
So Angel Reese goes to the WNBA. She's just a good player, but no transcendent, nothing. She's just a player.
She's a really good college player. In the WNBA, she's going to be really good, but it's not. She's not Asia Wilson. She's not Breanna Stewart. She's not Maya Moore. Some of the more recent people that have won a championship, gone to the NBA a year or two. She's not. Her game is not that. Not even close. I mean, yeah. Let me give you an NBA comp. So we're talking Caitlin Clark, kind of like a Steph Curry, right? Like, and even when he got drafted, he wasn't a number one pick.
No, not at all. He was 6th or 5th. The Knicks. I think he wanted to go Knicks. The Knicks. I think he got picked before, or he got picked before Knicks, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, or Caitlin Clark could be like a Kyrie. He was the number one pick from Duke. Didn't play a lot, but he was good. He came in, was good right away. Caitlin Clark's that person. Angel Reese is a little bit better than Draymond Green.
Draymond's going to Hall of Fame, so.
Yeah, but he's got those other two good guys with him.
Well, yeah, right? I'm just saying, like.
But she's not, she's right. Kind of Draymond, or maybe like a Julius Randle type. Like, she's, good in college, but all-star probably. But she's more marketable with the social media than anything else. So
like I said, she'll make more money doing that.
But she's not Caitlin. I mean, nobody's picking Angel Reese over Caitlin Clark on their team. There's not one. Kim Mulkey, the coach of LSU. Okay, if she had to choose, she would choose.
Fair enough. But 60% of the offense comes from one person. It makes sense. But in terms of Hall of Fame, shout out to the new Hall of Fame picks. I think Vince Carter and Billups, Chauncey Billups, going to the Hall of Fame. Surprised about the Billups thing. I'm not that
Chauncey Billups,
but I saw a lot of the everyone's getting in now. I was a bit surprised of the Chauncey Billups, but he did win a championship. I think he only went to the All-Star game only a handful of times. He's like one of those players that bounced around for a while. For some reason, only when he went to Detroit that people, at least that team, appreciated him, and he was able to run that team. I mean, he was the dude. I would say that he held. I mean, that Detroit Pistons team was.
Yeah, I mean, special. And Wallace, they had Rip Hamilton was the off. They ran the offense through Rip. And they had Wallace and Rasheed, Ben Wall. I mean, Tayshaun Prince was great on that team as well. That team was pretty loaded. But hold on, did you say Chauncey Billups got in or just got?
Chauncey Billups is a Hall of Famer. Yeah,
so if he's in, so I guess Rajon Rondo is going to get in. Rondo's had a better career than Chauncey Billups.
That's a good question. But there have been some. There've been some years that did you know where Rondo was? Like, I'm not insulting the Rondo. Like,
well, there were some years I didn't know where Chauncey was. I mean,
the
beginning of his career.
beginning of his career. Yeah, that's actually good. That's a good question. I mean, Rondo's been there for 16 years, won 2 championships, one in LA and Boston. It's funny. I saw this literally today because you're talking about Rondo retiring. Derrick Rose said his toughest defensive matchup, like dudes like defending him, was Rondo.
Rondo was I think he was first team All NBA a couple of years, second team couple of years. He was an All-Star a couple of times. Rondo to me has had a better career than Billups. That's interesting.
So you say if Billups got in, let me make sure I got it correct, but I think so.
No, if Billups is in, Rondo's in. Rondo's got to be happy right now because Billups
is that bad? That player like Rondo. Billups.
I'm a little surprised. I'm not mad about it. I'm just a little surprised. I feel like he wasn't first ballot. I'm sure he's been retired for a while, but I'm a little surprised that Chauncey Billups got in. That's interesting. I couldn't tell you where he went to college. Georgia Tech. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Vince Carter and Billups headlining the 2024.
Chauncey Billups.
Who else got in?
Chauncey. Good for you, Chauncey. Huh.
I wish I had Chauncey on the Knicks during those terrible times where we just kept losing. I would like him at my starting point guard. And obviously Vince Carter. I mean, God, Vince Carter was the fucking dude, man.
I mean, it'd be better.
Those dunks were so exciting. And
Carter should just go in by himself, man. It's better. He deserves that. Shit.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the dunk. I mean, the special things are dunk, but he was a dude. He was the guy. He was one of the guys in the NBA that scoring over 20-some points a game. He led. He brought Toronto and that whole the Canadian, that whole situation. Like I think that was the first time they had NBA teams right there at the Toronto Raptors and what's the other team they had? Vancouver Grizzlies. Yeah.
Toronto and Vancouver Grizzlies. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they went to Memphis. So it's going to be Simone Augustus, Michael Cooper.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I saw.
Simone Augustus, it's really good basketball.
I remember her. Yeah, I remember her. I saw a documentary about her, like her where she came from, coming from the hood.
Yeah,
they're gonna play.
Read Bobby's comment. What do you think about that? True fact.
Where? Neither. Damn liberals. What they got? Vince Carter is not a Hall of Famer?
No. I think he's talking about Billups and Rondo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not talking about Vince Carter's a Hall of Famer. He's had a long career. Was really good. I wouldn't
argue against that. No. I would if Billups didn't get in, I wouldn't be like, oh no. So I agree with that.
Yeah. No, my whole point was just like my response was I think of him, I'm like, well, didn't Rondo? I'm like, if Billups is a Hall of Famer, Rondo's a Hall of Famer. So I'm just thinking, if I'm Rondo, I'm happy that Billups got in because it's
going to take a minute, though. It's going to take a minute. I mean, he just retired, so he didn't get if it is a shot. But people do put a lot of respect on Rondo's game, so it's possible. And then winning championships in major markets, Celtics early in his career.
Yeah.
Lakers, I think there was a bubble championship, which gets more respect every year. Like I don't talk shit about it as much as I used to when it first came out. The bubble championship was pretty good.
I got no problem with the bubble championship. I think in some ways it was harder to do that, but that's just me. But
Slim has a really hot take right here. Rondo better than CP3, but doesn't get the credit.
That's a Slim pimping. That is a spicy take.
Okay, so are you talking about Hornet CP3 or CP3 now?
CP3, even with Clippers, CP3 was because you got to remember CP3 when he was younger had really good steals, really good defender when he was younger, ran offenses for 10 years that he played. He was the guy on that offense, facilitating, scoring, and assisting. I don't know. Yeah, CP3 is a better overall player than Rondo. Even without a chip.
But the problem is, Rondo got the championships. The one thing I didn't like about Daniel Stern, and I thought he was a bit of a curmudgeon, but obviously his decisions is the reason why the NBA is where it is. But him vetoing that trade for Chris Paul to go to Lakers, that was lame. He should have went there. He would have had some championships.
Well, think about
he could have been up.
Yeah, they let him do whatever now, but it's weird.
Oh yeah, because it's like two extremes, but. Him vetoing that because he was worried about the competition. Now we don't. It's all whatever, right? Everyone is I don't know if the big three necessarily is the thing, but you're still having multiple stars in one team.
Yeah.
Like look at the Suns, right, and the Clippers, but they should have had that opportunity because I think Chris Paul would have got some championships. I think that's the one big, like, can you be a point guard and not have not one championship? But John Stockton has. You consider him a point guard, and he has those championships. But
He's got none. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Lakers got Paul Gasol and got him for nothing. I remember that being a big deal, and I can't remember if that happened after the veto, or so I don't know if the NBA made up for it because they didn't veto that. The Memphis Grizzlies got robbed. So like it was weird that they didn't get Paul, but they got Paul Gasol, and then won 2 championships with Paul Gasol. But I can't remember the timeline on that, but it was weird. Chris Paul and Kobe would have been interesting to see on the court. I don't know. Getting Paul Gasol was better, obviously looking back because they won 2 championships. But Chris Paul on the court, that would have been interesting to see how that would have worked out.
Yeah. All right. One more thing before I head out. I want to cover all the NBA and basketball stuff with this guy here because again, he's street ball legend here, Mr. Bellew. Bronny, LeBron's son, looks like he's not going to go to the draft.
No,
he went to the portal. Looks like he's going to leave USC.
Yeah.
My thoughts is I'm happy that we can stop with this nonsense. He needs time. It looks to me, is he an NBA player? The jury's out. He's still a young man. Not everyone is Wemby. Not everyone is LeBron or Garnett or Kobe. Yep. He's not that guy.
No.
So it's still a chance. I think he's 6'2", 6'3". I guess he's not growing anymore.
No,
I don't know. I don't know how that shit works. But that's it. I mean, you see Brunson, and that guy has all the talent in his head, and he has that size. But he definitely don't play like Brunson.
But he's a different Brunson.
Right.
He plays significant. Bronny James.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything with USC. I think he averaged 4 points, bro. Like
correct.
2 rebounds, couple assists. That's not NBA. When you average,
but he is recovering from significant cardiac issues.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I would give him. You may want to take it easy because this boy could have died, right? So I'm like, okay, but he didn't show enough.
But he's playing. So if you're healthy enough to play, I mean, and not just a couple minutes a game, I don't know. I think he hasn't. His trajectory isn't going up, right?
Oh yeah, of course not. No, definitely. Yeah, he's not on any radar.
High school than after 1 year of college. So I think the transfer for him could be good and change the scenery. I think maybe he can get on a better team with a better scheme because I would love to see him in the NBA. I would love to see him play with LeBron. I think that would be fun. I think that would be great to watch that and experience. I think would be very interesting. But right now, there's no team that's going to take him on their roster. No, if he were to come out.
But so talking about that, LeBron has said this publicly many times. He want to play with his son. I don't think that helped him. I think that hurt him a little bit. I don't think.
Does that?
Because if Bronny don't have the talent, it looks like he's not LeBron James, right? And LeBron James, again, we talk about this. That's the thing about fathers, and just it doesn't matter about fathers, but your kids, and you can have LeBron's genius level IQ of basketball that he can. I'm sure he can analyze players, but we all are parents, and we have an emotional attachment to our kids, and we think, rightfully so, that our kids can be the best thing ever. And he talked about, they're gonna pick my son, and I'm gonna play with him. Like, but if that wasn't his son, and he saw him play, would he have that same feeling that this guy is an NBA ready player and he can?
Oh no,
do 1 year. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even a basketball savant as LeBron is still a human being with emotions and cares about his son. And he said he's happy with his son going to Portal. He like, whatever he does, I'm happy because you love your kids. But I think too much pressure was on this young man. And I think it's a good idea for him to go to leave LA, maybe go somewhere and be your own man. Because, Jordan's kids didn't do anything when they played. I don't think they cared. I don't think they care about basketball as much. I do believe Bronny loves playing basketball compared to Jordan's kids. I think he was doing it because I guess I'm doing it. But That's a lot of pressure to put on a young man.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I'm rooting. I want him to make it to the NBA. But right now he doesn't seem like he's ready. If you're looking at it just from basketball, your eyeball test and the stats, the analytics, he's not
nowhere near.
He's like the fourth best player on his team.
Yeah.
So it's the one thing that I will say about him though, he plays. He's got a good 3-point shot, so he could be a good role player in the NBA. Coming off the bench, he can hit threes. He plays good defense. Even at his size, he's not real big, but he's a pretty good defender, on-ball defender. So I could see him making the NBA, but he's gonna have to really, when you make the league, these guys are scoring 15, 20 plus points a game. Okay, I mean that's kind of like you're not drafting a guy scoring 4 points. You can get that in. You can get that overseas. You got all these overseas guys too. Like so, Bronny's got a lot of work to do, but. Like you said, it seems like he likes basketball, so he'll put the time in. He's got a father to help him, so obviously, that knows a lot about the process. So it'll be interesting. I'm rooting for him. I like to see him, but I don't know how much more LeBron has. So
yeah, and he's kind of mentioning that now, right? Like it may not happen. Slim Pippen says Bronson has a big ass head. He does, but I ain't mad at him. I mean, let's see how far the Knicks are gonna go.
I think
the second round.
Are they a 3 seed right now? I think they are.
Let me double check. It's been a minute since I checked.
I know it changed when I looked.
No, fifth, but it's a fifth. But Magic is the Magic.
Magic, damn.
45 and 31. The Knicks is 40, 44 and 31. And you got the Cavaliers at 46.
They must have lost.
He as 42, then it's 6. So it's tight. It's tight up there.
Yeah.
But the Celtics are just above everybody, beating everyone's ass. 60 and 16, dude.
That's the best record in the NBA. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to beat them, but
lock it in. Celtics championship.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a betting man, if I'm going to bet on it, I'm betting on the Celtics to win. They're going to have home field. They get the best record. They're the deepest. I think Tatum and Brown really want to win. They need to win one. Tatum,
they've been really close.
Yeah, they paid Jalen a lot of money. So if they win one, all that's kind of justified. And we'll see. But because the Nuggets are still really good. The Nuggets are still really, really, really good. I'm not worried about OKC. I think they're still too young.
How about the Timberwolves?
Nah, they don't. Nah.
Is that a young team as well? Well, they're a little older. They're a little older.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Baby Jordan in it too. So
I don't see them winning 4 games versus Celtic or the Bucks. I just don't. I think the Knicks could probably do okay versus Timberwolves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think they're on that level of like the second or third tier of playoff teams that could win. The Timberwolves aren't up there. I put the Thunder above the Timberwolves if you're asking me, but we'll see.
But Bobby is not on Team Tatum.
Listen, you just think it's fine. I forgive you, man. I forgive you. Listen, I want to poll. So 20 votes, 20 people. Could a female basketball player play in the NBA? 35% of y'all. So what is that? See, 10% would be 2. So like 7 of you guys said a female. Maybe I'm sexist. Call me what you want. The 7 of you that said you think a woman could play in the WNBA either you're sick, you got what me and Hannibal got, you're delusional, you're just trolling. I hate to be that guy, but I'm that guy. It would be it's just not possible. Just physically.
It's more the athleticism, not necessarily the skills, but like
no, we're not degrading the women and their skill set, okay?
Yeah.
It's
like
just
I saw like like average us. Yeah, they're gonna beat us.
Oh,
like even was it? I forgot that WNBA center. People don't like her because she was like a real asshole, and she was like calling I think they're doing some international play, and she was calling the African team monkeys. But even though she's like biracial, she's a big girl.
Oh, you're talking. She's from Australia,
right?
Forget her name, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
She's a big girl.
Big.
So if she puts you in the post, like any of us, we're not able to stop that. I mean, I wouldn't want to stop that.
Well, some of the guys, based on the mismatch, she might get a couple of buckets, but she's not playing defense. Not going to keep. The pace is different.
No.
I mean, the ball, everything's different. It's just different. It's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And Slim say I have to research. Yeah, I mean, it's really, that's why NBA players or NBA teams, and even NFL teams, will always take a flyer on an athletic player, even though the person may not know what the hell they're doing. Like that guy runs fast, so maybe we can figure. Especially right. Remember Oakland Raiders? They always draft the fastest guy, wide receiver, because he can run fast, even though it's like way more to it than just running really fast. But
if you're Henry Ruggs, you drive cars too fast.
Oh,
well, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, before you leave, get Stephon Diggs to the Texans.
The Texans.
So the Texans are about to. What do you think? What do you think? Texans going to go far? I mean, got a squad over there now.
Right now, they're top 4 in the AFC. Just with that move alone, Stroud, if anything, I mean, he had a great year. He should get better. Or he's not going to digress, and he had a great year already.
Yeah.
And Joe Mixon, so they got better at running back. He's still a good running back, and they already had Nico Collins, had a great year. Tank Dell was a rookie, got hurt at the end, but he had a really good year. He's a deep threat. Now you got Diggs. They got tight end Schultz. They already had a really good coach. I like DeMeco Ryans a lot. He's like kind of the next Mike Tomlin, in my opinion. Yeah. Then you got a good defense like Will Anderson. The Texans, man, that's a huge move. Stephon Diggs can probably still produce at this level for another 2-3 years, and I think that's what they're looking at. That's the
he's hungry too. I think he was definitely disappointed of the Bills thing, and they were so close so many times, man. And hopefully, I mean, he's still in the AFC. He kind of already knows what to expect, and it's really hard to win on that side compared to the AFC.
Yeah,
NFC, but it's very good. This obviously every NFL season is going to be exciting. I mean, except for the Giants, they suck. They're going to suck, but I'm excited. Definitely, Texans definitely a team to watch.
Yeah, yes, Texans, Bengals, because Joe Burrow get healthy again. The Bills, man, they lost a lot of people. I don't know what they're going to do.
And they traded for draft, like basically. I guess they're retooling because they didn't. They're like, hey, just get this draft pick.
The Bills have. Chiefs are going to be better next year. The Chiefs are going to be better, so that's kind of scary because they just won back to back, right? So it'll be interesting, but we'll see what the Bears do. I'm still just kind of anxiously waiting for them to draft Caleb Williams and him to show up and see what he does.
When is the draft? Soon, right?
May? Is it May? I think it's maybe May.
I feel like it's no, dude. Isn't it closer than April 25th?
April. Okay, so a couple of weeks. So
a couple of weeks. You'll see what's going on. Number 1 pick, the Chicago Bears, then the Commanders, and then the Patriots, and the Cardinals, and the Chargers, and then the Giants at 6. What the hell are they gonna get at 6?
Who knows? No, I mean you're gonna get something, but it's not gonna be. They need a lot, so they need a lot. So it's what it is,
Yeah, who knows? But we'll be hopefully to get something that like, okay, that's a nice piece to build to do something else with. But we'll see. I have no idea.
Oh, I forgot to mention earlier because I saw a lot of crazy TikToks. We were talking about the Clayton Clark LSU. Caitlin Clark basically just pulled a Kendrick Lamar. So Kendrick Lamar's line. Big 3, there's a big 3.
Oh, big me.
Rajay, Angel, and Haley Van Lith. And LSU is just Kendrick Lamar. And she just kind of bodied him on Monday night. That was it. People were using that song as like the backdrop of the drama. I thought it was kind of good. So I just needed to put that in there,
Do you think Iowa's going to win the whole thing?
No. I think I lose to UConn, which is going to be an upset, in my opinion. And I think South Carolina is going to win the whole thing. They haven't lost all year. They're really good. They're kind of flying under the radar. Dawn Staley knows what she's doing. South Carolina wins. It's not even close, in my opinion. So, all
right. Well, we'll see what happens in the next couple of days. But on that note, good basketball talk. It's been a minute since we just talked about some good basketball. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Definitely had a good time. Hope you guys had a good time. Look, Paige about to hang out, watch a Battlehawks game. Don't know shit about hockey. I did see a notice that it was a big brawl and a bunch of people had to get kicked out. I'm gonna watch that later. Probably was a good fight. That's the one thing about hockey. They stay true to their shit. Like, we're gonna let you two fight for a few minutes and then break it up, and then you guys go in that low box. Like, I appreciate that. Let them fight.
Weird how the sports are different. They're fighting with their bare hands.
Yeah, and the crowd's clapping, and both men get respect. It's like that's how it's supposed to be. Compared to the silliness in NBA, you can't even touch the guy.
It's weird. But or you don't. In baseball, they do the mound thing, and mostly they're just pushing each other and talking.
Yeah.
Football, sometimes the quarterback or the cornerback receiver get in, but hockey, man, they let them dudes go at it. I mean, it's fun.
To watch two Europeans beat the shit out of each other. Yeah, I can't complain about that at all. But on that note, guys, I hope you guys don't get sick, and if you are sick, I hope you get better soon.
Hall's medicine,
Mr. Beto, Mr. Halls, Mr. Beto, I hope you feel a little better, and we'll be back with you guys on Monday. Peace.